Okay, so I wanted to come back on the issue because I think it covered Mayberry well, right? What was going down in there, how this plays, maybe the town's slow enough that intake really is something like this. The quantum mechanics here. This will go into anything you have in the city, but I'm not necessarily qualified in the city for core testing here. But there's universal fix in what it is. There here is every single person. We cannot, and I mean this is critical. We cannot just have somebody on a regular Wednesday come in here and drag in the entire force to get to know their name and what schedule they work. Because one, it's going to be different every day. I'm going to need to, if you choose to conduct this audit fully, I would either have to remodel everything in here, or I can be smart about this as the chief or whatever. I want to get you guys out in the YouTube video. I'm going to tell your name. It's dangerous. Of course it's dangerous. But in this case, you look at what we can eat, or what we could have gotten eaten in there. I don't know if they won or lost. I mean, I'm technically speaking here, I got to know the guy's bitch fit about the audit first, whether it was even worth it. Otherwise, he's just probably more than likely just wants to be a cop, but, doesn't have a class 2 or class 3 license for anything. And well, at any rate, the city aspect there is, you can imagine that lobby is just on fire, right? I mean, unless it's 2 o'clock in the morning and on a winter day, where nobody's out like that. That is the only day where I would ever break down the restaurant policies to let you switch out French fries or rice pilaf in this cookery, right? That's way out of line. I cannot do that on every other Wednesday because every asshole would get in here, because this would be the only job. You come in, you meet people, you have a badge, and it totally renders the entire process worthless while chasing somebody around. And as a distraction, technically, I can't tell you you're not working for the cartel. But you're going to claim you don't, but by passive nature, they could be robbing a gas station right now from where I was stationed. Why our cops station decides to place it like that, and now you pulled me off roster. Or, again, the limit of you'll never get to know everybody in here unless somebody in here has the file audit paperwork to say, oh, well, it's not a grievance, it's not a complaint, it's not something, this is the audit file. And and again, I don't mean to be this like, Chief, I'm talking to you. It always goes uphill here. So again, when I know that that's the parameters of what it is, and maybe Mayberry's harder there in its own regards. I mean, probably, again, volume-wise. But what would we do, and how do we solve that problem? So we have already audited for them. The only thing left that you could come in here with that camera is say that piece of paper came down, or something else. And that was it. That was the only thing we could leave you on the table. And technically, why wouldn't we want to know about that? I mean, later on, wasn't that domestic battle buddy giving us all kinds of shit, as far as it didn't necessarily diminish the cops. It didn't diminish our station. In fact, it gave strength to our station, because, I'll go find another Billy out there. It may not be the one I wanted. But often, you ever get to, I mean, other than the boss that gets to choose who the fuck they want, they'll stick them right next to you anyways and tell you, hey, that's the grind, right? It's training. You got to get used to a person. At least at that point in time, you get to say you had an audit on that rookie or town kid. And this guy, again, out of the group, now that he came in and audited, kind of they tracked the light, they followed it. We got to judge that first to make sure it's blue lit on this thing and it's something worth the trouble. But after that point in time, hey man, you want to file a cold case? It's what it is. I can't let you go track around people on January 6th and go headhunting a bunch of, stalking. You're just not, you don't have that. And even if you did, I still got to make sure you go through the right rounds and stuff to make sure I can enforce that. So, again, it's just something I wanted to touch into. Make sure that we got something. It's like, I should be covered for a year. It may not get everybody. If anything, it's just easier to talk about the new officers that we have and knock it out, So something to keep in mind.